Good morning and welcome. Welcome to the very first video ever that I am recording for YouTube. This is the very first video of a series I am calling Energy and the Human Organism. Energy and the Human Organism. And so I'd like to just start with a brief conversation about what it is that we're actually going to talk about. What does that phrase refer to? So that we can kind of keep a container around that, because otherwise I'll end up all over the place. My name is Christina Jensen. I am a licensed doctor of physical therapy. I have a private practice where I work one-on-one with clients, talking about a lot of this stuff. And so the intention with this series is to be able to offer a library of sorts to the people that I'm already working with so that you can learn more about these topics and remember what I said about that thing that one time and be able to develop yourself in that way. And so if you're already working with me or you've ever worked with me, thank you. Thank you for your time and your trust and for your encouragement to me to get this put together. So I'm really excited and I'm just really grateful for everyone who works with me because you have helped me develop this material. So without further ado, we're going to be talking about energy and the human organism. And so when we're talking about an organism, we also have to discuss the environment that it lives in, because that is always going to be a reciprocal implied relationship. What we know about functional anatomy, about evolutionary biology, is that the form of the organism is an artifact of the reality of the mechanics of evolution, which is that form follows function always. Form follows function. The function is there first. The intention is there first. The structure will form around it. And so when we're thinking about the human body as well as the way our environment works, that's going to be really informative to understand how these mechanisms make sense in relationship to the rest of the environment. What I really want to talk about and focus around is how energy and resources are moving between the organism and the environment, as well as within the organism itself. Because everything is energy, and we know that scientifically. And so we want to ask these questions about how energy and resources move, because then we'll understand the function of the organism that developed from that current. We need to understand the physical, tangible nature of reality, as well as the non-physical, energetic nature of reality. That there are components of the real world that we can see and smell and taste and touch and feel. And then there are also components of the real world that we can't. And we're thinking about energy, and we're thinking about waves, and we're thinking about light and vibration, and all of these things in a really literal way that share space with us in our universe. And I've decided that you're going to hear me refer to that as the underpinning, because everything physical or tangible develops on top of that energetic flow. And so we have this energetic underpinning in our environment, and we know that some of it is local right here, right now, and some of it's somewhere else. And I don't pretend to know enough about quantum physics to really say more about it than that, but we know that time is relative. We know that these things get a little wibbly wobbly. And so now we have that in our awareness. So again, how energy and resources move between the organism and the environment, and how energy and resources move within the organism itself. And then we are sharing that information with our environment all the time. So there's always this conversation that's happening. Now, we also know that our physical organism includes our cognitive self, our human self, our psyche, our imagination, our conscious mind. And our conscious mind has an unconscious mind. Thinking about the Jungian idea of the shadow, in our unconscious mind, that there are things that all of us are just carrying around with us that we're not immediately aware of, but they're still in there. And we would be unwise to pretend that they aren't. And then again, coming from that Jungian framework, if we've got a psyche, we've got a soma, and soma refers to the physical body in that framework. And what I'm offering here is that the soma itself also has a shadow. We have retained physiological processes in our body all the time that are a result of our stress and our trauma and injuries and illnesses and other things that we just have going on in our orbit of experience, that are retained and manifesting through our physiology, because that is what I have observed professionally. And so now what we're talking about with all of this is starting to understand the relationship that our cognitive, conscious mind, that our psyche, that our imagination even has, understanding the relationship that that mental self has with the physical body, with the physical environment, and even with the non-physical environment. That there's relationship there. And when we understand how that relationship works, when we understand how energy and resources move through that entire system, especially in relationship to ourself and our idea of ourself and our personal experience in our life, that becomes something really fun to work with. So, circling all the way back around, that form follows function. Always. The fact that we have the sensory equipment, we have our eyes and our ears and our fingertips and our nervous system, the fact that we have the sensory equipment and the physical architecture. So we have bodies that move around and can interact with our environment. We have highly developed hands and fingers that allow us to do fine work. The physical architecture and the cognitive capacity to put this all together. The fact that we can do all of this, we have the sensory equipment, the physical architecture, and the cognitive capacity to put all of this together. The fact that those forms exist implies that this is how human beings developed. This is how we are supposed to be living, is in integration with ourself, integration with our environment, and understanding how your power and how your energy work. We're supposed to be able to live like that. And when you can do all of that, that's your fully incarnated, fully individualized, actualized self being successful in your environment, which is what biology is all about. It's all about being successful in your environment so that we as a species can continue. And the longer we continue putting intention into how we use our energy, I think we can do really exciting things as a species. And so I want everybody to know this stuff. And I'm really excited to share it here with you. I'm not accustomed to being on camera. So I think I'll end there. Thank you so much for watching, whoever watches this, and I look forward to continuing down this journey with you.